Well, hi everybody. We have made it to finals day. This is the day we start our final exams at school, leading up to the last day of school, which is Tuesday. We had to add a couple extra days because of our snow during this winter, snow and ice. But today we start our finals. I give my final Bible exam today. So I look forward to that. Don't look forward to correcting all of them after I'm done, but do look forward to finishing up and completing the grading for the year. Um, so, praying for all the students that they recall the things they've learned and that they can be able to, articulate that on the exam. Today we're talking about from the book of Romans chapter 8 that we are sons and daughters of God, that we are heirs to the kingdom. It's much like when we are in our families. I know I had my older brother was the first to do things. I followed along in his footsteps. As he played baseball, I played baseball. He played football, I played football. We did certain things like that, and I learned a lot from him. Learned a lot what not to do as a younger brother. Oftentimes, I would get away with things that he used to get caught with because I was observant and I watched how not to get in trouble. But he did lead me in a lot of good ways. But I want to read from Book of Romans, starting with chapter 8 and then verse 14. For all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by whom we cry, Abba, Daddy, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with him, in order that we may also be glorified with him. So we're hearing there that as we are sons and daughters of God, that we also must bear the suffering that he bore. That things aren't going to be always easy for us. That we need to follow him. And in this world, that means we're not following along with everybody else. And if we go to the book of Colossians, then chapter 1 and verse 17, and he is before all things, and in him all things hold together, and he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead. That is everything he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. So we are one with him. Everything comes under Christ. Christ is the head of course, the church. He should be the head of our families, and we as leaders, as men, should be the head of our families and the churches as well, as history says, as apostolic tradition is, and as God chose first Adam and Eve, and chose Adam to be made first, and he chose Jesus as a male, and Jesus chose males as his apostles, and the apostles chose males to lead the church. We follow in that tradition as male leadership. Now, of course, males haven't come through as they should, and women have led, and that's perfectly natural, because we hear in Genesis that the woman will always feel the need, as she had before with Adam, of equal leadership. But man, Adam, has become spiritually accountable for his wife, and men have fallen short. So men, I want to challenge you. Let's do what God says to do as sons of God. Let's take that mantle and lead properly. I don't think any woman in her right mind would not want to follow a man who's following after Christ. The problem is we don't do that. Right? We fall short. We neglect. We renege on our jobs, and then women do what they have to do. Thank God for them. But if we want to be in the perfect will of God, we'll know our roles, and we'll be able to carry out those roles as sons and daughters of God, as heirs to the kingdom, as leaders, as followers, as disciples of Christ. So that's a challenge for us today, to follow the pattern that God has set forth in the Bible, so that his perfect will may be done in our lives. And we have a lot of repenting to do as men, as families, as a nation, as a world, to be in God's perfect will. But God does, God, he replenishes the loss, right? He forgives, he can restore. And I'm pleading for that, not just in every family, but even in my family. I've fallen short at times, but God has been gracious, and he's restored things because of his grace, his mercy. We're still here. I'm still here. So there's always hope for us to follow after Christ as God's sons and daughters in the rightful places where we're not putting a burden on people that they can't handle. I want to read verse 21 from Colossians 1 as well. It says, "And you who were once alienated and hostile in mind, doing evil deeds, he is now reconciled in his body of flesh by his death, in order to present your bodies holy and blameless and above reproach before him." So there we are. We can turn back to God. He will forgive us. He will cleanse us. He will restore us. And we can be whole again as men, as families, as a church, as a nation. So that's our prayer, that God will restore us and that we will turn back to him, starting with us as individuals, families, churches, and a nation. God bless y'all today. Have a great day.